Welcome guys today to a new episode, and this episode is a little bit special because we are driving on my own 1300 GS. Yes, this is my bike, and I do a run-in route, and today is the last day where I do the run-in, and then it goes to BMW on Friday for the first inspection. And I want to talk and say to you where I look during the first 1000 kilometers. Basically it will not have 1000 kilometers if I am right. It has 823 kilometers at the moment, and I think after today it will have somehow 900. And BMW is stating that between 500 and 1200 kilometers, if I'm not wrong, to make the first service. So I am in this range, and so we will talk how do I do a run-in, and this is just only very important my opinion and how I do it. There are different opinions on this topic and different procedures. There are some people that do and don't care about, they just go out of the box and treat it like send it. And then some people are thinking how to do, what should I look, and how should I do what. And this is, in my opinion, also something completely normal. Many people that buy a 1300 GS, they don't buy, or many, let's say, I would say it's 50-50, maybe 70-30, so the 30% of the people, when they buy this bike, it's one after 5 or 10 years, and they want to ride this bike for longer. And then there are people, for example, they have it on a lease and they don't care because after a year or 2 years they give it back, and yes, someone else should care. So from the longevity side, I can say from the first thing, you need to ride a lot of bikes, a lot of kilometers, and treat them differently. It's basically not possible to say what is right and what is wrong. But from the feeling and from the normal meaning and normal common sense, I will show you now what I do. So first we have here the limiter, for example, the RPMs, and they go around to 9000 RPM. So I have for myself a ruler, and this is also practiced a little bit on test beds. 50% of the normal RPM is that one that we want to use from the RPM side. When it comes to the gas side, throttle percentage, it's different, let's say, because basically sometimes you go like 30% or half gas, and then in normal cases you're running like 10-12%, and so I wouldn't accelerate like out of the box and give it full throttle and accelerate all gears, but only to 4000 RPM just to accelerate faster, or 5000, and with kick shifter. I do 50% of the RPM, so basically I go not over the 4500 5000 RPM range. That's a ruler for my side, and that's also what BMW says. They say also 5000 RPM should be not exceeded. But when you have more and more mileage, you can, let's say, so sometimes give it a push over it just to feel the power, you know. It's hard to drive 1000 kilometers and not twist the throttle and enjoy a little bit the bike. So I fully understand, but I would do it not after 100 kilometers. I would do it after 500, 600 kilometers to start to push a little bit the bike, but not to the maximum. That's definitely not. Especially on the GS, I'm pretty sure here is not a different oil in. Yeah, there are people are talking. Yeah, there is a run-in oil in. Yes, there are bikes and cars with run-in oil. Sorry, but not the GS. S1000RR, they will have probably like a high performance car or high performance bike. They will have something like that, just to get a run-in procedure, and then they are also limited sometimes. But the GS is a production bike and not very, let's say, so special, so they don't get a special treatment on the oil side. You give her the special treatment. So gas. So you go out of the box and just chill and get it to running temperature and get it higher and higher. And I use always the clutch. Yeah, this bike don't have a quick shifter, but if I would have a quick shifter, I would anyway use until the first service only the clutch, and then later on, yeah, get the bike used to my usage. Let's say like that. Then we have also the brakes. The brakes, as probably most know, they need also a run-in procedure. So we shouldn't exceed with braking or excessive braking to get them hot. They should get a little bit of warm and get a run-in, yes. And normally when you do a normal run-in, you will not push the brake to its limit, and yeah, that the run-in is not happening. So normally I would say this is something how you ride and run in, you will run in your brakes. That's quite, I would say, almost important, but maybe most people didn't know. Then what I do, and this is also something what I do, not most people need to do, and this is a nice Renault, the number 5. I really like this electrical car. It's very, very, very vintage like. But yeah, I drive an electrical car, but yeah, I like it. Is after 300 kilometers, something like that, 400, I do a torque spec check. So I check just at least the wheels, the brakes, and maybe some screws around the bike that could get loose. And the dealer normally at the 1000 kilometer inspection, he should do this anyway. He should, let's say, he should, but maybe some don't do it. But I do it a little bit up front because I don't have trust issues, but I just want to be sure, because it happened at one time that after a tire change I had loose screws on my car, and this is not a good feeling. And yeah, lesson learned, double check. So a nice Corvette. Yeah, so I check also here this screws, for example. And then also when you get home after the first ride, set the bike to your needs up. This means handlebar position, clutch position, brake position, for example seat position. And then I think most of you anyway, when they order a bike, they buy already some accessories to mount them, and until the bike gets, you have almost everything what you wanted. So you will probably anyway work on your bike, but this is something I would say also important, that you get from the beginning a nice feeling and nice touch to the bike, into the bike. Then tire pressure I would also check, because it's easy, because you go in the menu and then you see, okay, 2.5 and 3 bar, okay, mine is a little bit higher, but I check it where it was 4 degrees, so I will need to minimize it. But you see, I did it, and probably the dealer will not check it. So this is something I would assume yeah, say you should do it. For example, for my Anarchy Adventure that I have on the bike at the moment, I use 2.3 to 2.4 bar on the front and 2.7 to 2.8 bars on the back. This is a little bit like how I ride the bike, or I have ridden on the 1250, and I do it here also. And then also I ride on the road mode, not on the dynamic mode. This is something I would say after the service you can excessively give more need or more power from the engine, or take from the engine, and not just straight in. And always it's important, and that's the most important part, you can run in the best engine, but if you don't get, and if the bike don't get a nice warm-up, then when you treat it cold, then yeah, it will be maybe a Monday production car or bike. So just keep in your mind, maybe get it steady, get it warm, the oil, the gearbox, because if you see here the oil or the water temperature, this don't mean that the oil is on temperature. The oil is normally a little bit behind at the beginning, and then later it's a little bit hotter. So the gearbox needs also to get a little bit warm, and this is why I don't treat the bike with a quick shifter when it's cold, and I say roughly round about 20 kilometers it's cold, the gearbox at least, and then I treat it. But before that it should be a warm-up, nice and steady. It's just for the good feeling, just for your own good feeling. That's what I would do. So thank you for watching. I'm very interested to hear what you do, how you do, or how you would do, because I know it's something special to buy a new bike from your own money, let's say, and then to make a run in, to give it to the first inspection. It's a little bit special, so it's, I think, something very important to watch. So thank you for watching. See you next time, or read you next time. Bye.